Hello and welcome everybody to Flicker Effect, episode 232. We're recording this on Sunday, November 12th, 2017. I am David Lott. Joining me this week is Bobby Jackson.
What's up, everybody?
Jascha Wilson.
Hey, everyone.
And Michelle Hillard.
Hi, everybody.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
What is shaking?
Oh,
Hey, guess what? We're all here.
We're all here.
here.
It's true.
It has been a little
It's been
while
a long
since all
time.
four of us have been on. It's
It
been
has.
either Bobby or it's been Jascha or, yeah.
It has been a while.
I'm so happy.
But don't get used to it, because next weekend we won't all be together.
Oh, yeah.
You won't be here.
That's my fault next weekend.
I have to say, I have missed you guys.
We missed you.
It's not enough to text you every now and then. I actually like to hear your voices.
I know. It's comforting.
Well, welcome back, everybody, for 1 week until next weekend when we're broken up again, but
Yeah, sorry.
for Justice League of all things.
I
Of all
know,
things.
dude. I know. Stupid
Justice
cousin's
League and
wedding.
Punisher.
Oh, that's right. Punisher.
I know. It's a huge weekend. And I looked at my cousin. I'm like, why would you choose the weekend before Thanksgiving to get married? You crazy lady.
Oh, that's crazy.
I
And
know.
And it's Star Wars Battlefront Day.
Oh,
That's
that's
right.
right. I know somebody who's extremely excited about that.
That's what I'll be doing with my weekend.
Yeah, you're going to have a busy
You
weekend.
considering you haven't watched Daredevil 2, you can't watch Punisher.
Oh, I can.
God, David, we're still on
I
this?
can watch Punisher.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, we're still on you can watch Punisher, but I feel like you should, whatever. My point is.
The reason I didn't watch Daredevil Season 2 is because I didn't want to be tempted to watch Punisher, because I'm just going to be busy with Battlefront 2 anyway. So fuck it.
Such lies. You're so
Whatever you
full
need
of
to
it.
tell yourself.
This is all
man.
planned
Yeah.
ahead of time by me.
I'm like, whatever you want to tell
Yeah.
yourself to.
I think it
make
makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Whatever. This is my planning. All right. So, box office numbers. Let's get right into it. We'll race through these bottom five quickly. I don't think you guys have seen any of these. Number 10 this week was Lady Bird. New release from A24. It's in pretty limited release, but it's at number 10 with a hair over $1 million. It's only on 37 screens.
It's got spectacular reviews, though.
It does.
It's doing well. I want to see it.
It's coming to Orlando next weekend, and that's got to happen as well.
When I get back, I want to see it.
Yeah. Number 9, Happy Death Day, in its 5th week in release, with also a hair over $1 million. Number
Dude,
8.
I want to see that movie. It looks funny.
Really?
Really?
I do.
We all judge him immediately. Really?
What?
It looks ridiculous. Like, don't get me wrong. It's an easy watch. Like, hey, are you bored? Yeah. Am I going to run out to go see it in the theater? No, probably not. But it's like, if I'm bored, like, oh, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I could watch Happy Death Day.
It's gonna be
Look at
that weird. It's gonna be that weird, like Saturday morning. Like, oh, look, there's an 11 a.m. showing of Death Day. Yeah, sure, I got time to kill. Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Number 8, Blade Runner 2049, in its 6th week in release at about 1.4 million. And its very depressing run where it's not making nearly what it should be. Anyway, we've beat that dead horse. Number 7, Geostorm, with 1.5 million in its 4th week. Number 6, Tyler Perry's Boo-Too, A Medea Halloween, with $2 million in its 4th week. Number 5 this week was Jigsaw with 3.4 million. Anybody here see Jigsaw? Nobody?
Oh God, no. That's something that I would hope that would fail miserably, but it's not.
I watched it.
Oh, you
Did you,
did see
Bobby?
it.
Yeah, I thought we had talked about it.
Did we?
I don't know.
I don't think we did.
It's hard to remember now.
Yeah, clearly it was that impressionable that
I was
Bobby
gonna
can't
say
remember.
it was so impressionable in one direction or the other.
Well, no, we didn't talk about it because I don't think you had a chance until probably last week. And then last week we just did Stranger Things and Thor. That was it.
Yeah, there was no
Okay.
room for that. Any other nonsense?
Okay.
So, quickly, what'd you think of Jigsaw?
Well, if it's one of the, to me, it's like if you like the later movies in the series, starting from I'd say Saw 2 up to maybe Saw 3 or 4, then I think you would still like this because it feels the same sort of vibe as that one. And based on that, I actually liked it. But I don't know, there were some things that I thought they could have done better or I had some issues with. But if you just really want to see people caught in traps and how they try and escape them, then that's what Saw pretty much is. And they're not deviating from that formula anytime soon. So it made a lot of money. So I expect that you will see another one. But I did enjoy it for the most part.
Cool. Number 4 this week was A Bad Mom's Christmas with 11.5 million in its second week. Anybody see that?
Nope.
I kind of want to see it though.
Crickets.
Crickets.
Like, nobody's gone to go see
Nobody's
it.
gone.
I just didn't have time. I
yeah.
want to see it though.
It's just too damn early for a Christmas movie. I'm sorry.
Dude, totally.
It came out right after Halloween.
Yeah.
And I never
Thanksgiving.
saw Bad Moms. I wanted to. It seemed like it'd be semi-entertaining. And then even this, I was like, oh, I would see this, but for not for like 4 weeks. Like, I don't want to see a
want to
Christmas
see it till
movie yet.
Thanksgiving. Like the day after
No, I
Thanksgiving,
saw
like the
it.
Friday right after Thanksgiving, I'm like, let's do Christmas movies. Hells yeah. I'm all
Yeah.
about it then. Like if it literally opened that weekend right after Thanksgiving, I'd be like, yeah. Let's go. Do this.
I saw the first one. I didn't think it was that great. I wasn't that impressed.
I thought it was kind of fun. Here's what I'll say. I will say I feel like the first movie, Bad Moms, I feel like did really well in the first like 2/3 of the film, and then it just kind of it just flopped hard that last third of the film. But I would say it was still fun while I was watching it, and I want to see this one, and I just wish they hadn't released it literally like the day after Halloween. What?
You know, it's
It kind of
weird.
feels like they didn't have confidence in their property. They were just trying to jump the gun on some of these movies. Like, well, this is kind of a dead area. We don't want to go after Thor. We definitely don't want to go after Justice League. And then we're going to be well into like Thanksgiving and Christmas movies. So, yeah, let's just put it in here in this dead space.
Yeah, I mean, they released it on a Wednesday. They released it before Thor. They specifically went in and were like, nope, I'm not waiting for the weekend. It's a Wednesday release.
I think I used to have a problem with that, like you guys are saying, when they release Christmas movies way ahead of time. Because I remember being a kid, and 2 movies specifically that I remember watching in the theater at the time, they were quote unquote Christmas movies, not necessarily in the same vein as this type of movie is, where you're seeing Santa Claus and there's all the decorations and everything, but nevertheless they were Christmas themed sort of movies, which were Gremlins and Die Hard. And I remember seeing those in the summer, and I was like, why is there movies that's centered around Christmas coming out now as opposed to in the wintertime? And it just made no, especially I used to live in the Midwest at that time. So seeing a movie about around the Christmas time setting in the middle of summer in the Midwest is just kind of weird. But eventually I think I kind of got used to it. So now I can see those Christmas type movies whenever they come out.
And now we're all about it. Now look at us. Like, we can't think about Christmas without Die Hard sometimes, and we can't think
Right.
about Gremlins without having, well, Christmas is Gremlins. You know, it's such an iconic Christmas film with all that stuff. So it's weird how that works.
No, totally.
All right, moving to number 3 then. Murder on the Orient Express. New release this weekend. Pulled in a hair over $28 million. And I did not get a chance to see this weekend. Michelle, I know you saw it. I'm guessing, Bobby, you saw it?
I did, yeah.
Jascha, did you see it?
I did not.
Okay. Well, I'm right there with you. So, Bobby and Michelle. Michelle, what'd you think of Murder on the Orient Express?
I mean, I was actually pretty excited for this film, as weird as that sounds. I think I like, such a huge collection of actors and actresses all in this film. And I mean, I've read a lot of Agatha Christie's novels, and while Murder on the Orient Express isn't one of my favorites, it's enjoyable. And I'll be honest, I've read the book once. I read it in middle school, and I kind of forgot all about it. And, even that movie, the original that came out in 1974, I feel like I maybe watched that like a teacher put it in, like the 2 days before Christmas break was one year, and we watched, the 45 to 50 minutes of it before class ended. Like just to kind of get us through that last couple days. So I don't even really remember the film, the original one. But yeah, I was excited for this, and I think it's the challenge going into this is that I feel that Kenneth Branagh as a director has always been very hit or miss for me. There's some things that I don't like that he's done, and other things that I do. Like, I really like Thor, but he did a lot of Shakespeare ones, and I will say I've only probably seen like 2 of them, and it's just I don't know. Kenneth is kind of weird as a director for me.
So with that said, then we're veering off topic slightly, but I'm curious. Like, did you ever see his Hamlet?
Yes. No, I did not see Hamlet.
I really like that movie.
Did you?
I'm curious to know what you would think of it, but
I think I've seen Henry V and Love's Labor Lost. Well, I can't even say it. But or no, was it As You Like It? See, I can't remember now because they're so obvious and not memorable for me. Maybe it was Macbeth even. I don't even know. Jesus. See, that's what I'm saying. Hit or miss. This is how it goes for me. Anywho. So I was kind of, not sure about how this was going to go. Overall, and God, this is people are going to be like, really? Because the reviews on it are very mixed, I'm seeing, kind of everywhere across the board. But there's a few things that everybody's kind of agreeing upon, and I agree with them too. Like when I was going through reviews yesterday after I watched the film, I was like, yeah, I agree. But overall, I actually enjoyed the film. I had fun with it. It's it kind of harkens back to a simpler way stories are told on film. It reminds me of older movies. And I had a good time with it. I will say I really enjoyed the effects and the beginning of the film. I think are really solid with the train. And I feel like they really focused well on it and the scenery. And it really kind of captures that moment. But at some point halfway through the film, like you kind of lose the imagery that really concocts your imagination in this situation about the train. Like the train kind of stops being its own character and just kind of winds up being background again. And then that kind of made me sad because I was really digging it. Like it really kind of got me amped up during the film, kind of seeing the train and seeing more stuff. And I don't know, it was just the way it was shot and the way it was done. I was like, yeah, this is beautiful. This is amazing. Like it's its own living, breathing thing, basically. And it kind of gets lost after a while. They kind of forgot that that was kind of a cool thing to have. I will say, like, I think some people are having a lot of issues with Branagh's Poirot, his Hercule Poirot. I can never say it right the way he says it. It looks like Hercules, but it's not Hercules. And I do have issues with it, and I don't have issues. I think my issues with it are that he does seem to have quite a lot of screen time, but I know other people are having issues with his portrayal of the character, and they're like, oh, he's just too like weird and too like silly, and I'm like, but that's how Poirot is written. Like when you read Agatha's stories, I'm like, he's quirky as hell, like, and he has a really funny little sense of humor. Like he finds the weirdest things funny, and that's kind of what's charming about the character. And so it's kind of sad that people are like, oh, she's just too quirky. I'm like, well, he's kind of supposed to be quirky. That's how he is. Like, so that I don't agree with, but I will say, yeah, Kenneth Branagh is on screen a lot, and at the same time though, when he is on screen, he has really great shots of him on screen. Like they're really well done. And then when you get to the other actors and actresses, is like he really puts them in the best light. Like I feel like I don't know who he got for his lighting dude, but man, you go boy, because man, everybody looked amazing in this. Like they just visually looked amazing, and it was fun to see such a large array of actors and actresses working together for this story to get it all together. I mean, you can't really talk too much about the story other than the fact that there's a group of about like 15 people, all first and second class passengers only. So these are the elite of the elite, and they all have a ton of money. One of the passengers winds up dead, which basically means all the other passengers are suspects in the murder. That's really all you can say about this film and the story itself without it getting deeper into the thing. But I had fun. I liked it. I thought I don't know. It was still really enjoyable. They like I have weird little quirky things like, but overall I had fun. I enjoyed watching the story unravel in the way it does. Like some people would say the pacing was a little slow and the actors were able to, chew on the scenery a little bit. But at the same time, like, again, like, because this kind of harkens back to a different way of storytelling in a way, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind going along with the way the story was unfolding. Like it felt fine to me. Like I was just enjoying everything. So I liked the film. I wouldn't say it's great, but I enjoyed it for what it was. So yeah.
Cool. Bobby, what'd you think?
Yeah, I was going into it similar to Michelle in that I think I either read the book when I was younger, but more than likely, I definitely remember watching the old movie
The
at
one
some
from
point in
74.
time. Yeah, but it wasn't like a classroom thing for me. I just have always enjoyed murder mysteries, and I love seeing that type of thing play out in a movie, sometimes into a way that you keep the audience guessing because they're not revealing any type of clues for you to try and be able to solve it in a way that makes sense. Sometimes they will sort of cheat in that way, and you're kind of left like, well, that wasn't revealed to me when you kind of revealed these other things to me. But in general, it's just I like trying to go along for the ride and really see what kind of story they're telling in terms of how you go about solving a mystery, the clues you're looking for, the little subtleties that you discover. And that's what they show when Kenneth Branagh is playing the detective. I think, let's see, I'll try and pronounce it. It's Hercule Poirot. I think it's kind of like that, but like the H was silent or something. But he does such a good job of doing this character. I really enjoyed Kenneth Branagh in that role. And I honestly, Michelle's right. He is on screen a lot, but I enjoyed when he was on screen so much in his character and his quirky mannerisms and just how he's almost like, it's almost to a certain degree, if it was like, House, the character from TV, the doctor, but as a detective, but less snarky and more heartfelt, I guess.
You know who it reminds me of? Remember that TV show that was basically a guy with OCD and cleanliness, and he was a detective, and he was like brilliant, and everybody loved him. I can't think what it was called.
Is that Monk?
Yeah, Monk. It's very Monk-esque to me.
Yeah, he just has this sense of duty to want to find and do the right thing, and he just has this wit and personality about him that is a throwback. You don't see that too much in characters nowadays, and so it was refreshing to see him play this character who just wants to get at the truth. And as he sort of put it, I'm paraphrasing, that the reason why he's such a good detective is because he's able to see the sort of inconsistencies when everything is typically in a normal sort of way. He sees things that stand out, and it helps him to be able to solve mysteries. And just seeing him get at something and the way he works is so masterful and done in such a good way of storytelling that I excuse some of the slowness of it and just some of the other aspects in which the movie kind of brings itself down. But just like Michelle said, overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was well done. Kenneth Branagh, in terms of his directing in it, it didn't stand out to me one way or the other. It was fine, but really just him playing this character was the standout to me, and really got me into the movie and just wanted to see him do more and more. And I came out of it hoping that they can make a sequel and do something else with the character, because they hint at something towards the end that I don't know if it's, I think it's another book. It seems familiar.
It is.
But okay.
It's actually, that one's actually the one that they hinted towards is actually my favorite. I'm actually hoping that they do continue. And I realize this is getting such mixed reviews. I'm hoping that they do another one, because I would love to see that one. That's actually my favorite story. It's the one they're talking about.
So, yeah, I mean, I like the character enough to follow him on another adventure and see a whole new cast of characters. But everybody else in terms of the movie, they do their part, and I thought they did their part well. No one else particularly stood out to me in terms of their performance, but they all put in solid work to me. So overall, I just thought it was really enjoyable. And I kind of went into it seeing mixed reviews. I didn't really read the reviews, but I just saw that the tone out there seemed to be pretty mixed. So I'm happy that I came away from it really enjoying it and looking forward to seeing more if they decide to do more.
I'm right there with you. Like, I feel like everybody had solid performances. I'll say if I had to pick one of everybody else outside of Kenneth Branagh, I would say Daisy Ridley.
Yeah,
was really
I'd
good.
say that.
But yeah, no, I dug it, and there is a part of me that's like I'm okay if they wanted to resurge some of Agatha Christie's novels into books again, into movies. Sorry, I can't even talk. I'd be cool with it, and especially because, again, like you said, they hint at the end of this film at another one of her stories. But and again, I say it's my favorite one of the Agatha Christie Poirot series. I'd be super down for that. Like, I was like, when they mentioned it, I was like, oh, that's the one I like the most. I was like, yeah. So I was like, oh, cool, because the ending to that one's awesome, I think. So
Interesting.
yeah. So I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. I can't get my hopes too high because everything is so mixed right now, and it's just not doing spectacularly well. This was its opening weekend, and it came out number 3. And I'll say it was going up against Thor Ragnarok still only on its second week. So, I mean, I knew it wasn't going to beat Thor. Like, I'm not naive, but I was definitely hoping it would be in the second spot. So, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
How much did it make, David?
It made 28.2.
It's not bad.
It's
I don't
Looks
know
like
the
I had
budget,
a budget
but
about 55 million.
Oh, so it's possible.
It's got some legs. It might be able to withstand a little bit,
Yeah.
28's not bad. So you got to kind of hope for the long game with this, the kind of a movie, like it make it through the holidays. It might be able to pass its budget and, actually become a profit.
No,
And plus
totally.
international.
Well, just domestically, obviously it did more. It's doing well with foreign. Foreign had made 57 million.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
Total it's 80. Total they're at 85, but we all know that we want that. What they really want is that domestic gross to be above the budget too.
Right,
So.
right. I mean, I think this is going to be one that's going to sit in the theater for the rest of this month for sure. And I feel like it's going to have a lot of legs with, and I hate to be like an ageist when I say this, but older crowds, people basically my age and older. Like, I went with a friend, and she and I were by far, easily, hands down, the youngest ones in this theater. Like, no questions asked. It's not something that I think I'm going to see a ton of millennials going to. This is definitely a film and a story that I think is more of an older crowd and older generations. And they'll keep it in the theaters, I think, for the whole month. I think it'll do well, decently throughout the month of November. But, yeah. So, yeah, hopefully we'll see what happens at the end. I know come Star Wars, it's just going to be completely gone. But,
Oh, well, that's a...
That's
got
a
some
whole
time
nother-
until we get there.
That's a whole nother
That's a
story.
whole other machine. I mean, that's everything's going to be blown out of the water.
Oh, yeah.
They probably own that weekend.
Just the month, practically.
Well, thanks, guys, for your
Anyways.
thoughts on Murder on the Orient Express. Number 2 this week was Daddy's Home 2.
Another Christmas-centric film.
Yeah, that's right. It is, I guess. I didn't think about that. But see, it's funny. Like, I know we already just kind of had this conversation, but at least now it doesn't bother me as much. It was more the fact that Bad Mom Christmas came out, like, literally, like you said, the day after Halloween. Like, that was too damn early. The weekend before Thanksgiving or so, or 2 weeks before, I don't know. I could kind of... Yeah, it's still a little early, but it's not too bad. But anyway, Daddy's Home 2 at number 2 this week with 30 million. I don't think anybody saw that, right? None of us? No.
I didn't even see the first
Actually-
one.
I didn't either.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, it's just quiet.
I didn't see it. No, I was in line, literally in line to go see it, but I was so tired and I just had other stuff that I had to get to. I was like, you know what? I don't have time to sit in this movie, and I will probably just fall asleep. Like,
Right.
I wasn't confident that it was going to be so funny that it would keep me awake, and I just said, you know what? I can't do it. I got other stuff I got to do.
That's
so
just not enjoyable. Who needs that in their life?
I really want to see it though. Like, I mean, it looks funny. I laughed at the first one. I liked the first one, so it
Oh,
was
you
an
did see
easy
the first one,
I did. It's an easy comedy. It's a Will Ferrell
right?
comedy.
Right.
Right.
Like, I mean, you go in there. I'm going in there expecting to kind of just laugh at nothing and really just
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it and just kind of clear my head. But the problem is that I can't clear my head right now. I have too much stuff going on, so I didn't get a chance to do it.
Well, number one this week in its second week was Thor Ragnarok. We, of course, talked about Thor Ragnarok last weekend. But Jascha, you were not there for that.
Oh, I wasn't, but I did watch it.
You did see
I did
it.
watch it.
Did
I
you
did see
did you
it.
listen to our review?
I did not listen to anybody's review yet.
So
I'm
you have
sorry.
no idea what we think?
I have no idea.
Oh wow.
Oh, we got to hear this first. We got to hear Yasha's side.
No
Are you
clue.
gonna let him do
No clue.
spoilers?
No. I don't want to do spoilers in the middle of the
Oh,
show.
okay.
so
All right.
No
All right.
spoilers.
Okay.
But so yeah, Thor made 56.6 domestic in its second week, bringing its total up to 211. Jascha, what did you think of Thor Ragnarok, buddy?
Well, Bobby messaged me a little bit. We got a chance to chat a little bit about it. We shared, so I kind of know what Bobby felt of it. But I'm
Okay.
interested to hear what you guys thought. But me personally, I enjoyed it. I had a good time watching the movie. I thought it was funnier than what I was expecting. I thought the addition and the dynamic with Hulk in this world was really good. I thought Hela was fun. Some of the characters, I don't remember, the Rock guy just killed me every time he was on screen. I can't remember his name. Bobby, can you help me
Korg.
with his name? Thon or started with a T, didn't it?
Korg.
Thorg? I don't
Korg.
know.
Korg.
And he
Korg.
and he was
Okay, I
he was
way
voiced
off.
by the director too.
Yeah, I know he was voiced by the director, and I think that's super, super cool. Overall, I kind of enjoyed the movie. I do want to see it again because I was really tired when I saw it. That seems to be the consensus of what I'm saying about my life nowadays is that I'm tired. But
You need to hit up a
I did-
Starbucks before you go to your AMC or Regal, man.
seriously, I really should have. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun movie, and I thought it did a really good job of just basically leading into Infinity War, because that's really what it does, is it gets us all ready for Infinity War. And I enjoyed Doctor Strange's cameo in there. I thought it was a little silly, but you know what? Overall, I thought it was fun. I wasn't expecting much when it came to that, and that's kind of what I got. The character dynamics were really fun, and I really thought who was it? Jeff Goldblum was a nice addition to the cast, although he did play kind of like just an exaggerated version of Jeff Goldblum. Like, you kind of see that character now in almost everything that he does, and he just he does it really well. Overall, I did enjoy the movie. It seems like they took a little bit of a different turn from the second one, because I think the second one was they were kind of going the darker, serious route, and then this one they're like, let's make it light and fun, and just kind of like, hey, let's make it rock and punk rock, and have people come into the movie. And I mean, I thought it worked. I enjoyed it for the most part. Did I love it? No, I didn't love it. I enjoyed it. Would I rank it in my top when it comes to Marvel movies? I wouldn't even. I don't think I'd rank it in the top 5. I don't even think it'd make my top 10. But I did enjoy it, if that makes sense. I mean, I don't think it was a bad movie. I did enjoy it, but there were others better from Marvel so far that I really, really enjoyed. And this one is just kind of like, oh, yeah, this was fun. It was a fun movie. But by no stretch of my imagination do I think it was the best Marvel movie that they've made.
All right, cool. Thanks, Jascha, for your thoughts. Did you want to know what we thought quickly?
God, yes.
Michelle, you want to say what you thought quickly?
How do I even sum that up? I basically gurgitated last week. Not the biggest fan. It was okay. It had its moments. I feel like it's kind of a mess. I feel like it's basically 2 films thrown together as one film, and it just could have been done differently. I have a lot of issues with it in a way, but the things that I enjoyed were strong. But not too thrilled. it's fine. It's one of those things. It's like when your mom's like, I'm not mad at you, I'm just disappointed, and that's literally how I feel. I'm like, I'm not mad at you, I'm just really disappointed in you. You could have been so much better.
Well, I'm mad,
and I know you're angry.
Fuck disappointment. No, sorry. No, I think I was definitely the least impressed with this movie. I will agree.
I will agree. 4 of us, you were very disappointed.
Yeah, no, I was pretty bummed. I mean, part of me wants to say no. I think it is a bad movie, but it's not. It's not bad. It's just not very good. Like, I don't know. Like, repeating what you said, Michelle, I very much preached last week the opinion that this is really 2 movies that are trying to be one movie, and I don't think it works. And I think it's a bit of a mess, and I was not happy. and I thought this was a shoe-in, like the trailer and everything. I was just like, oh my god, this looks amazing. This is gonna be great. Like, it's gonna be a complete departure from the other 2 Thor films, but fuck it, like, I won't care because it's gonna be so much fun. And then it ended, and I'm like, now I care that it's a departure because it was not good. So I don't know. That was my thoughts on Thor. For a more lengthy explanation, I guess I would say see episode 231. But yeah, I was not impressed.
Bobby was more hopeful on it, I think, than you and I were.
I did tell Bobby, like, one of the common parts of the conversation I said is, like, I do feel like I need to watch this movie again because I was so out of it when I did see it. Like, like, I feel like I may have missed some things, so I do want to watch it again. So maybe my perception of it will change, especially after hearing your take on it, David. And I just, it is something that I want to visit again.
I hope it doesn't.
Yeah,
honestly.
Me too.
I mean, because I think I feel like with David, Michelle, and myself, we're definitely in the minority because I talked to some other friends that saw it and they absolutely loved it. And so I'm happy that they loved it because that just to me means that people are still loving the comic book genre of movies and having a good time with it. And even if I didn't like it as much as I hoped to, the fact that other people are means they're still responding to it and it's still thriving. And next week or this coming week when Justice League comes out, I'm hoping I love that in the way that I was hoping I'd love Thor, or even more so because it is Justice League. So I don't know. I mean, I think that I really liked Guardians of the Galaxy 2, whereas David didn't. So for him, he has 2 misses in a row, and whereas me, this is my first one, and it's not even like a hard miss. It's just like, it could have been better for me, but it wasn't horrible. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it, but I just was hoping for a little bit more.
It's made me lose hope in Black Panther.
Oh God, stop saying that. Stop saying that.
Are you serious, David?
Yes.
Is that a real statement?
Oh God, he keeps saying that.
It kind of is.
I kind of am. As I said last week, look, in all, no, I have high hopes for Black Panther. I think it's going to be quite good. But again, I'm basing that on a trailer. I based my hope and dreams for this film on a trailer, and it failed miserably.
Okay, but that being said, if you say that, it's like you based your hopes and dreams on a lot of trailers, and that's kind of unfair to put that in a box.
I know. I'm mostly joking here. Trust me. I'm just saying in terms of Marvel recently.
You're freaking me out, man.
Dude,
I really thought Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was just a shoe-in, and I was really bummed. And then this, so again, just talking Marvel, I'm just going with the current pattern is I'm loving trailers and not enjoying movies, and Black Panther looks incredibly good. And again, I fully hope in it and plan that it's going to be good.
I hope in February it proves you so wrong, and it's gonna be amazing.
Oh, dude, I hope it proves. It's first of all, it's not proving me wrong because I don't really believe it. I'm just saying that, of course, I want it to be good. I mean, do you think I'm gonna walk in and go, God damn it, I was wrong. Fuck it was such a great movie. This is terrible.
Oh no, I know you'll be happy if it's amazing. I just, anyways.
No, it's going to be a good movie, but if it's not, like, fuck it.
Right, you give up.
I'll be done.
You'll give up.
I won't even see Infinity War. I'll just let
stop,
you guys
shut
tell me
up.
how.
Just stop. Oh God. Jascha.
Seriously, if
Jascha.
Black Panther's not good, I might just wait out till the second weekend on Infinity War.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Well, I believe he would do it, but I just don't think he'll have to do it.
I don't think so either. I think it's going to be a good film.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
so Jascha, did you get a chance to watch any of Stranger Things 2 yet?
I finished Stranger Things.
You did.
I did. I finished Stranger Things.
What are your thoughts on that, real fast?
You know what? I enjoyed it. I felt like it kind of ended pretty abruptly, but I think we know, and I think Bobby shared something, or somebody shared something, where Stranger Things is supposed to go 4 seasons or 5 seasons. So I feel like now it's more of just a money grab opposed to just the creativeness of just having a really good story. Because it was a little slow to start. Once it got going, it got a little predictable, at least to me, especially with the pet monster that one of the characters had. I can't remember what they called it, but it's like I kind of felt like that was definitely leading into a throwback, and it did.
Dart, short for D'Artagnan.
Yeah, thank you, Dart.
For Three Musketeers.
Dart.
God help me at all.
Yeah.
Just.
I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, but it's like I could see where they were going with it when I was watching. I was like, okay, well, they'll probably bring that back later on, or it's either going to fight for them, or it's kind of just going to be there and let them go, or something like that. And, you know, that's what happened. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the writing. I enjoyed the addition of the new character. But I do feel like it's more of just kind of like a lengthy story now, and they're trying to draw it out as long as they can because people went crazy for the first series. Like, they don't know sometimes that they're going to make a second series for them. They say, look at Boss Girl. Like, Boss Girl got canceled after the first series, and they don't want it to just be one and done. They want it to have people come back more and more. And the fact that this became such a cult classic and so many people just loving the nostalgia of the 80s and the throwback and the characters and the monsters and the changing of everything like that, it feels like they just kind of like, okay, well, what do we do? Oh, well, let's just end it right here. And that's kind of how I felt. It was like they just felt like they ended it, and then they showed the upside down again and kind of get people to lead in for the next season, because they're going to have Stranger Things 3.
Right.
Stranger Things 3. So did I enjoy it? Yes. Do I think it was as good as the first one? No, I don't. I don't think it was good as the first one, but I did. I thought it was a fun show, and I'm looking forward to kind of what they do next, to see where they're going to take it, and hopefully they kind of jump in a little bit faster than they did with this one, because it took about 4 episodes before I was really kind of like, okay, this is happening.
Sounds like your overall thoughts are fairly on par with what we were saying. So
yeah, I would say overall. I mean, we all agreed first season was better.
Yeah.
So pretty much same.
Cool.
Anybody watch anything else this week they wanted to talk about before we get to our final segment? No?
I watched a movie that's been out for a while the other day that I enjoyed. It's called The Way, Way Back.
Oh, yeah.
And I had wanted to see it initially, whenever it came out, but whatever reasons I didn't. I enjoyed it. It's a nice little coming of age for this kid who winds up going to, he spends his summer break with his mother and her boyfriend at the boyfriend's house somewhere on the coast. And he's really, you can tell he's an introvert. He just doesn't really know anything. He hasn't really discovered a lot about himself. And he's just trying to figure himself out, and so the film kind of follows him throughout that summer. But I really liked it. I like the performances in it, and I thought the writing was really smart and really good, and the cast was excellent. Yeah, I enjoyed it, so I'd recommend it. The Way, Way Back. Check it out, peeps.
Yeah, I really like that movie. I remember it got a lot of buzz coming out of Sundance, whatever year it came out, and I think because of that buzz, when I went into it that first time, I had a different expectation as the kind of movie I was going to get. So maybe that first time I saw it, I was a little like, I mean, it was good, but but then like I've watched it a couple times since, and I'm like, no, that's a really solid it's textbook coming of age story.
Oh, totally.
But it's just, I don't know, it's just really enjoyable to watch.
It's very
the
enjoyable.
The cast's really good. Sam Rockwell's, I really love Sam Rockwell in it. Allison Janney's always amazing.
Allison Janney, God love that woman. Can she be my my like second mom.
Right?
Like I love her. She's your cool auntie, you know? Like Allison Janney's always your auntie. You're just like, I want you to be in my life. You're so awesome.
Yeah, no, I just really
Do you
like
watch
that movie.
that show that she's on?
Mom. I
Yeah.
did. I watched the first at least the first 2 seasons of it, if not the first 3 seasons, but it's just kind of it kind of went in another direction and I was kind of but she's ridiculously hilarious on that show in the seasons I watched, and that's why I watched it was literally for her. I didn't watch it for what's her name in it. I watched it for Allison Janney,
Right.
and it's worth every moment. Like she's spectacular on that show. I love her to death.
And I'll give in this movie too kudos to Steve Carell for playing a role where he's just this terrible, most unlikable person ever.
It's super out of what he normally plays,
Yes, it
and
is.
so it's for the most part, and it's almost painful to watch him that way. Like it's
Right.
like wow, shocking, but no, I enjoyed it. The writing is really good. The performances are really good. It's a solid film for sure. I say everybody should check it out.
Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did.
Awesome.
It was good.
Anything? Anybody else? Anybody got anything? Nope.
The only other thing that I'm watching right now that's not regular type of TV stuff that we typically watch or whatever is I've started watching Mindhunter on Netflix.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, good stuff.
Is
I'm
it?
about 3 episodes in, and the first episode was just kind of okay, and I mean, once you get past that, it really starts to jump into and dive deep into what the series is about, and yeah, it's very interesting. You just kind of sit there and you're taken in by this whole process of talking about serial killers and before they were a thing, before they knew what to call them and everything. It's very interesting.
It is interesting. I've actually started that as well.
Did you?
I'm not very far into it. I think I'm three episodes in, but it is interesting. It's a little slow, and it's not the happiest of topics. So when I get home, sometimes when I just want to watch something fun, I'm not watching Mindhunters about serial killers. I'm just not. So, but yeah, no, I'm with you, Bobby. It is actually it's pretty good.
You know what else I want to see on Netflix that just released is Agnes Grace. I can't think I'm saying that right.
It's not.
I think it's Agnes Grace.
I haven't heard of that.
No, I mean it just dropped, and basically it's based on a Margaret Atwood novel of the same name, and it tells the story
okay.
of a poor Irish
Netflix.
immigrant who is a domestic servant in Upper Canada who's accused and convicted of murder of her employer and his housekeeper. And it basically is just about her. This doctor goes to visit her and like analyze her because it was really rare for women to commit not just a murder but multiple murders. And so they were looking at her psyche, and I guess they're trying to decide, like, is she insane? Is she not insane? Because she is claiming she has no memory of murdering basically all these people. And it looks interesting. It looks really interesting to me. Anna Paquin's in it. Sarah Gordon plays the main chick. But yeah, I was curious. I think it dropped on October, I don't know, mid-October or something there. Anyways.
It was pretty recent.
It's pretty recent, but yeah, it looks interesting. I'm interested in that one.
I usually like the stuff Sarah Polley does. She it looks like she's the showrunner or she wrote it anyway.
Okay. But yeah, sorry, you were talking about because you were talking about Mindhunter. It's about serial killers, and this is kind of in a way about a serial killer from 18 Hamnaha, and I don't know, it's interesting.
Nice. All right. Well,
That's all I got.
cool.
My wishes of things I wish to watch.
Nobody has anything else before we move on. I guess we'll move on to our I Challenge You segment.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we missed this last week, but we had plenty to talk about, and I hadn't watched it yet. But
Side note.
side note,
Just
I hadn't
drop
watched
that.
my movie.
I hadn't watched it, but we had so much to talk about, we didn't even notice.
But usually each week, we do a segment called I Challenge You, where one of us is challenged to watch something we had never seen before for whatever reason. And Michelle, you had the opportunity to challenge last, and you challenged me to watch a film I had never heard of, and I don't think you had either, called Inside. You looked it up, on a list of like top horror films for
top horror films in the last 10 years.
Right.
Like, and it was reviewed very well. Like, they're like, if you're going into it looking at horror films in the last 10 years and you want something that's a solid story that'll leave you going, ugh. It was rated very, very well. And so I was like, you know
Right.
what? You like a good horror story. And you know what? Let's just throw in the fact that it's in French. Let's do that.
That's fine. I mean,
I know you love subtitles.
I have no problems with subtitles.
Right.
But yeah, it's a French film from 2007. And I'll read the IMDb description. 4 months after the death of her husband, a woman on the brink of motherhood is tormented in her home by a strange woman who wants her unborn baby. I mean, what that description doesn't say is that, I mean, so her husband died in a car accident that she was also in. She was hurt pretty badly, but she survived fine. I mean, some scars and such, but yeah. So this movie Inside, I will say it's a relatively short film. It's an hour and 22 minutes, so it was an easy watch in that sense. It was not an easy watch if you have any problems with blood, any type of gore. Fuck this movie. Forget it for you. You're not watching this. But I don't. The funny thing is, I'll watch horror movies. I mean, I challenged Bobby to watch. What was the Peter Jackson film I had you watch? Was it not Bad Taste, but Dead Alive?
No.
But Dead Alive is like fake horror. It's like just comic kind of horror. This is very realistic. Not only realistic, just bloody, terrible gore, but it involves a pregnant woman.
Oh, Jesus.
Very pregnant.
Like she's about to deliver.
She's about to deliver the next day. And I mean, literally in this movie, that's literally what's going down. Like the next day she's supposed to go to the hospital, and if she's not going to go into labor on her own by then, they're going to induce. And yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sorry?
Bob, what was the name of this movie again? I'm sorry. I'm blanking on it.
No, it's called Inside.
Okay.
So, it had what, in like an 83% you said on Rotten Tomatoes?
It was
It's
crazy
pretty
high
up there.
ranked. It was really high ranked in Rotten Tomatoes, and the reviews for it are good. Like, everybody writes it. I mean, I think it's one of those things where, it's in French, so it's subtitled, and it's a French made film, so it's not a traditional like American Hollywood film, but they say like the story is solid and the horror is. Ugh.
And I have to say, I think I would agree. I mean, it's a solid little story, and this for a suspenseful horror film, it works. Like, and there's times where it even there was these moments, and it almost reminded me of Die Hard, where like she's stuck in this house. And she's trying to alert people outside of the house to what's going on, and they can't tell, kind of thing. And I remember there was one scene in particular. I'm like, this is totally reminding me of Die Hard. But anyway, the film works. I mean, it's nothing crazy in terms of a deep plot, but I enjoyed it overall for a movie that is just incredibly somewhat disturbing to watch.
Did it disturb you?
I mean, hey, I can watch some crazy shit, but there were definitely times that I was like, this is really, is she going to do that?
You guys should see, he literally like squirmed a little and his eyes closed a little just now. He literally went, I'm uncomfortable with
there's
this
something, I'll just say there's something that happens to a guy in the movie that I'm like, oh, really?
I can already imagine.
That just happened. It's something else. That's all I'll say. So, hey, if you're looking for a horror movie and you're looking to challenge your gore, I don't know how you'd put it, but hey, it's only an hour and 22 minutes. It's not hard to watch.
It was a solid horror
as long as you
film.
don't mind subtitles, and I'll watch foreign movies all day. I mean, I don't mind subtitles, so I didn't have a problem with that. So yeah, thanks for challenging me on to watch Inside. I never would have watched this most likely.
So solid horror film?
I think so.
Cool.
I dug it.
Cool.
Well, after your review, though, David, I'm not sure it's really sold me.
I get that. It's only for, I would say, a select audience for sure. I don't know how many. I think of all the friends that maybe I would talk to about movies, and who would I recommend this to? And I'm like, fuck, I don't know. I don't know
I
if
mean,
I
if
know
it got
anybody.
you, and I hate to say this, but honestly, like if it got you a little bit squirmy at moments, that has me going, I don't think I'm ever gonna do this film, because yeah, you see a lot of horror stuff, and you're pretty, you know, yeah, solid on those things. So for you to be even slightly squirmish is kind of like, oh, shit.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
Yeah, there's just certain things when it comes to horror that will get me every time. Where I'll I guess I'll be admiring the fact that they go there, but at the
Right.
same time, I can't watch it just because of how intense it is. And I think there's really three things. It's one, if when you see either in a movie, whether it's horror or some sort of actual movie where there's someone's being tortured, when they pull the teeth, that gets me. I can't. I have to look away.
That does send a chill down my spine a little bit thinking about that. Ugh.
Yeah, the second one is when they will either they will pull the nail off the finger or their toes, and you just see it rip off. That gets me. I can't look at that. And then I think it was Hostel, the one where the girl's tendon in her foot gets ripped out, and that was rough too. So
Oh,
there's definitely some things I can't watch, but
Not the eye, but the tendon. That's what did it for you, Bobby?
yeah, not the eye. I don't know, because that's just, I don't know, something about that looks a little more fake. But whew, yeah, some things you just can't look at. You have to look away and then look back.
I'm right there with you when it comes to the nail thing. Fingernails, toenails.
Oh, fingernails.
I can't even watch that. There was that drug commercial for a while where it's fake, and it's like this little animated critter that picks up the fingernail and goes underneath,
yeah.
and it's for some drug, some fungus shit.
oh yeah, for like foot fungus.
Yeah, and I mean
Yes.
that's even animated, and I'd be like, oh god, like why is he doing that? I can't.
That's his
you-
job. That's what he does.
Did you make it through? What is it, Syriana?
Syriana.
What was the one with George Clooney where he gets
Oh
his nails pulled?
no.
Oh.
Yeah, no. The nail thing, I can't. But yeah, it's funny because I remember when Hostel came out, that seemed to be like, at least in terms of new horror, kind of like, oh man, this is setting a benchmark for like just realistic, how terrible can we, make torture and gore, but this is fuck Hostel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, like, and I think I mean, you said it's unsettling watching a pregnant woman kind of get attacked. But like, I will say from a woman's perspective, at least in my perspective, anytime I ever see like pregnant women in horror films, oh, it just sits me off kilter. Like and it's so silly. There's moments in Rosemary's Baby, and I'm just like, oh God, I don't what like, and it's just it mentally just gets in my freaking head, and it's unsettling as a woman in that idea. And like, what's the other one? The Astronaut's Wife. Oh, why is she pregnant with that? Like, it's just, ugh. It's just, I don't know what it is, but yeah, pregnant women in horror films is unsettling for me. Like, it's right there under like fingernails and toenails. Like that is just,
Yeah, I will say there's a couple. It doesn't happen a lot in the movie. There's a few moments where you actually see kind of the perspective of the baby in the womb while things are happening, and the effects are not big budget for that.
right.
So those moments, those shots, I'm a little like, oh god. And luckily that doesn't happen a lot. But otherwise,
That's kinda weird.
the gore and stuff in it is, the effects are, well done, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it was a solid little horror film.
Well, cool. I'm glad I could find something that was unsettling for you.
Thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome.
With that, I guess it's my turn to challenge somebody to watch something. And I'm a little torn on this because I actually had one or two ideas kind of for the horror movie theme we've been going along with for Halloween. And I mean, there's nothing to say I don't have to, I can still challenge somebody to watch a horror movie, but
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. Part of me feels like maybe we should change it up. We've been doing a lot of horror films. So, I don't know. I'm a little torn. But I will I think I'll do one thing, and this kind of goes along with something we got to see this week. But I guess first I have to ask you, Bobby. I can't remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. Have you watched any of The Crown yet?
No, I haven't.
All right. Well,
Oh, shit.
so
I love that Yash and I are like, dude.
so yeah, we got our first look at the second season of The Crown this week, and with that in mind, Bobby, I'm going to challenge you to watch The Crown. Of course, it's a TV show, so I guess at least watch 2, maybe 3 episodes, but that's my challenge for you, to watch the first season of The Crown.
Okay. Sounds good. It's on my list of things to watch anyway, so that
Well.
just makes it move up a little bit more. So it's okay.
Just a smidgen.
And yeah, I didn't realize second season of The Crown was coming so soon. That's
When is it coming
like
out?
December.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, it's really soon.
Oh shit! Oh, that's awesome! I'm so excited.
I'll look it up while somebody
Oh.
else vamps, but
Dude, that's awesome because I liked The Crown a lot, and I feel that I'll say this. I feel that most of the awards were all exceptionally well earned. I was very happy with what it went home with in award season this year. It did well. The Crown is it's a solidly well done show for sure.
I don't remember. I'm not finding the date right now. It's early in December. It's like
Really?
Yeah.
I did not realize
December
it was
8th.
Oh my god! I did not realize it was literally a month
didn't
away.
either.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah, December 8th.
Sweet.
I know, right?
Sweet.
So that tells me you haven't watched the Crown season 2 trailer.
Oh. Yeah, I thought you did.
Michelle
when I
just
sent
shakes
it.
her head and won't even say anything. She just she hasn't watched it.
Oh, dang.
Aw, it's okay. I'm not trying to like take your fandom card or anything.
Kind of feels like it is. I'm gonna watch the second season though. Like as I'm saying, like I'm excited. I enjoyed the first one a lot. Like it is extremely well written. The acting is stellar. The way it's produced, all the production, it's a really well done show. So, yeah. I mean, I almost don't have to see the second trailer. Like I'm like, I'm gonna be watching
no.
it. Like I'm like, I don't have to.
Of course you
even
don't
watch it.
have
Like,
to see it. I'm just
going to watch it.
I know I was anxious. I was like, I don't know. I was just like, man, how's the second season gonna
Yeah.
look?
I watched other
love
trailers.
the first season.
I watched other trailers this week. You would be so impressed and proud of me.
What this is gonna be our last season of Claire Foy, right? As the Queen.
Yeah,
Which I'll miss her.
I like Claire Foy.
I like her a lot.
But the Queen does start to age at some point.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it only makes sense.
Nice.
But anyway. All right. So Bobby, the crown is yours. Enjoy.
All right.
And with that, unless anybody has anything else, no, yes, maybe, nope. All right. Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. As always, I'd love to hear back from everyone listening. You can let us know what you think of the podcast. If you have any questions or comments for us, you can email us at feedback@flickereffect.com. You can also find us on our various social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the like. We have links to those accounts on our website over on the right-hand side. I'm David Lott.
I'm Bobby Jackson.
I'm Jascha Wilson.
And I'm Michelle Hillard.
Thanks for listening.